no anchor.
All right, fuck it. Okay. So the reason we put it into play is because we've had issues. We didn't... Before we went into that meeting, we both agreed that we didn't really want to justify anything because it would have just gone in more circles than it would have in the past. But we had issues. Obviously, Cassidy and I have our own issues, and we didn't feel
Seems like those are getting better now.
I mean, I'm just trying to be. I'm just not stirring it all with Cassidy. I mean,
he falls for it every time. I even get mad at him for falling into the fucking trap.
He's very passionate about his department, which obviously I respect him for. But at the same time, like when I called him and I was like, "You murdered." I said,
you can bait him 10 out of 10 times.
I literally called and said, BCSO is murdering my officers. What the fuck is going on, Cassidy? And that's when he fucking, I mean, he lost it.
Blew a gasket, I know.
Yeah, he blew a gasket, which I thought that was funny. And if I was in his position, I would have been like, yeah, I got a hit out on him. What are you going to do, bitch? But anyway.
Yeah, that's not him. He's a clean by the book.
So anyway. There was that whole thing. We had an issue kind of with Helen coming in and cutting a 95 loose. Somebody ended up coming down. Someone was trying to turn themselves in for a warrant. They came to LSPD. It was over $100,000 warrant. He was picked up by BCSO and brought to BCSO. We basically just had like a shitload of issues. And we're like, all right, we just need to fucking cover our asses. And like, if this is essentially what's going to happen. And I don't think everybody in the BCSO operates. I should say, I think there's people that are in the BCSO that operate with their, it's not the best intentions of the police department. It's just the best intentions to them. Helen being one, well, like with the Bobby issue. Ventura kind of is, as much as fucking Ventura loves to drink the tea, he also likes to fucking spill the tea and then play the victim. Another incident is I was shot in the head by a member of the Saints, which apparently Ventura's like married to one of their gang members, and it was like they never, like, the Saints ended up calling him and they never even reached out to me. They just basically ran to the marshals to try to get me impeached, even though I did it off duty. And it was like to prevent a fucking hell week from the South Side. It's just like there's people in the department that I think are self-serving. And we want to make sure that we could fucking nip that shit at the bud. Like, that's why we did it. And I don't think we've had a single incident where, and I know before you said me and Vic Hanna were going to be the issues. I mean, we were in a, Cassidy could tell you, we were in a crazy shootout the other night. And I didn't ask for any 95s to be processed at MRPD. In fact, I was like, look, I'm going to try to raid these fuckers. Could we get them to LSPD and then you can transport them up to BCSO to process them? I mean, we just ended up doing it, whatever. But the reality is, as much as everyone kind of goes and says like, well, they could punish us, they could do this. It's like, first of all, yeah, we could, but then ultimately you could just drive up to Blaine County and remove your fucking DAPs or anything you want. I think people have made like this huge deal out of something that obviously is it is kind of a deal, but I do not think it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and again, moving forward, it's like Vic Hanna is dead now. Captain Vic Hanna is dead now. It's just me, and I've never pulled anyone off. And now it's gotten to the point where Den wants to do this because he can't even do his TRT operations because he feels like everybody's doing this to spite us, which 100% they are. I mean, it's kind of just like, you know what I mean?
I think it's like we're trying to leverage it, which is, you can see it however you want to see it, is we're trying to use like our backup as leverage to try and get exactly where we're at now and try and get somewhere where we can meet in the middle and get something that we both agree on. So I do agree that something having your back in writing is fine. I just don't think that it should be like senior plus. I think it could be a little bit more than that.
I mean, what like the thing is we did senior. So one of the reasons we did senior plus is it's like for the history of Los Santos, what can a senior do that an officer cannot, other than drive a vehicle?
I mean, senior. Yeah, I mean,
You know, it's just like
it's always been that way, but it's also like senior somebody that you typically would like. They don't want rank, they don't want anything, but they want to be like they have the respect of if they wanted to, they would be there. Is like how I see it. Or they're in like their like growing stage of getting to the sergeant level. It's kind of like the middle ground.
Yeah, but I mean, so part of the reason we have senior there is like we want to give seniors responsibility, and I can't now at this point I can't think of a single senior that would ultimately pull rank on someone or even do it.
But it's also just the experience level, right?
Right. I think that a lot of this stuff too, which I understand you guys are doing, like you guys are kind of like operating off of hypotheticals as well. But nothing has even come up. And Den, honestly, would be the last person I thought would do this. But for whatever reason, he wants to push it now. I'm going to have his back. But, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess the reality is for us is I don't think we're changing the way it's written. Like I could give you my word that, you know, as long as we're all operating in good faith and there's no issues, like I'm not just going to say, hey, this is our scene. Fuck you, Blaine County. I know there's, you know, like you said, 13 to 14. It sounds like it's pretty split in your department. How many officers are in your department, by the way?
I don't know the total. I would have to look at roster.
I mean, it's more than 40, right? So some people aren't even voting on it.
Yeah, there's some people that haven't voted. I think it's like 17 to 13 right now.
Yeah, which is...
it was very close, and then the
30,
shit happened. And then it got like 3 or 4 votes swung. So you don't want to change it at all?
I mean, Moss is... Listen, I'm going to back the play on my chief, right? As I know Cassidy would with you. I think that we do want to work, but I don't think that... Especially with Moss not around, like there's no way I'm not going to fucking change that and then have her come back and be
changed. Okay.
Yeah, and then
something you could reach out to her about?
She's not going to change it. I mean, I like I said, the reality is
locked on it.
Yeah, we're both kind of locked on it. Again, it's like with kind of like with those examples. There's been a few other examples that I can't think of off the top of my head. And I know you guys have said you've dealt with these issues, but it's just kind of like recurring issues, and a lot of it is to save our own asses. Inside
I know y'all's reasoning. I understand the reasoning. I get it. I do. I just wish that we have our reasoning for the other things, and we just can't. It's hard to do anything if you guys aren't willing to budge at all. Like at all. I mean, I thought, you know, I'm trying to like open a conversation about like what can we do, or what can we add, or what can we change a little bit with it. But if that's not even a conversation that you guys are willing to open up, it's tough.
Is there no way you guys could? I mean, since we put it into play, we've been met with immediate resistance. I mean, there's no way you guys just want to play ball for a few days to see how it goes out, and then because again, right now, like I said about the hypotheticals, it seems like everybody's mad about situations that haven't happened but hypothetically could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, it's like no one's even given it a chance. They've just pretty much shut it down from the get-go.
Things are happening. They are. I mean, look what I like you said. Den's just doing it out of like frustration, but it's still there, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
it's still there, which is it is happening. You can't say it's not, because it is.
It is happening, but it's because Den's been fucked with the TRT operations. Like you can't even.
This is why we were scared of it, and this is why we see like issues within it in the first place, because it is a big what if, but when the what ifs are coming true, then kind of proves a little bit of a point.
Well, the what ifs are coming true because nobody had an opportunity to even see how it would work out. It's like the what ifs
We're
are
just trying to meet in the middle a little bit, like change just certain things out of that we don't like or we disagree on.
And I mean, it's just so the big issue is that it's senior plus that can do it.
That, and then we would like you guys to still discuss punishment through us before it goes out. That way you guys can't just like, okay, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you, and then suspend somebody or fire them for whatever you guys want to do.
You know, you can just
I get it. I could
and
just
change that.
Yeah, but that's. I feel like. I don't know if that's like the solution to it. I think that's fucked. I think that should only happen in.
I think it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's like it's just gonna breed like, oh, my department's gonna save my ass no matter what. Energy. And I've been there, done that in the past.
Yeah, I think it would be great, and then I think it'd be great if you guys fucking wrote the same thing, but in reverse, so that when people came up there, they could get in trouble. My officers could get in trouble, and then they could come back and then cry to me, and then... Okay. But yeah, I don't know.
I just wish we could open up the document and go through it. And just like tick some things.
Here, let's go. Let's take a look. Well, I will look at it. I'll look at it.
Okay. Can you give me the report number?
It is in the announcements, yeah, and it is 12923.
I got it. All right. Obviously the senior thing.
Chase these down.
I think within the certs, those have been they just gotten fucked at the moment.
The certs, okay, so the certs, we just need to approve certs, which is something we already do anyway, and we haven't disapproved anything.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's like we set people and then it got genuinely just kind of left behind after we set people because of this, and it's like, why do we do that in the first place? Why do we do a whole restructuring and appointing people in the first place if we're just gonna do this, you know?
No, because okay, so the thing with the certs is like we just have to like, I mean, it took, okay, so here's the thing, right? The pursuit cert, that thing took like,
yeah, let's use that.
Like that thing took like 4 weeks to come into play until it was actually, it's like we got fast cars, and then there was no cert that was ever, like, people were driving it, they were operating it without any certification.
That's not true. I set leads in a week, and then the leads each had 3 people per shift. Then the following weekend.
But there were no SOPs on it. Like the
There's SOPs. There's SOPs the Thursday after the leads were set. And Moss got ran through the SOPs.
Right. Well,
with Lucas and Shift 3.
I guess more so Declan was operating it before he was doing highway stuff, which I think is amazing, right? I think that's what they're there for, right? You should be in those situations. But I mean, Declan was operating the vehicles, and this is by no means a fucking knock towards Declan, but it was kind of like he was operating the vehicles before there were any fucking SOPs in play.
His were amended in the SOPs that Thursday as well.
So
he was driving it before, the 2 days before, but he already had SOPs. We just didn't finalize it and approve it with like all the cert leads and all that. But his SOPs are amended in those SOPs in terms of like the highway stuff, and they were done that Thursday, which is a week and a half after we got approved, or no, a week and 4 days after we got approved for the fast car.
I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm confused. I think I read one comment, but I'm not changing anything. Yeah, so the thing is like I know it's only 3 days, but it's just it's making sure that we have approval on toys for the PD to use before we just use it. Like that's.
I mean, I agree, but I also approved him to do that, and you guys were fine with me being the cert lead. There was no objections among high command, and I let him do that while the SOPs were getting finalized in terms of, because I already knew what he was gonna do. He talked about that before we even got like the interceptors, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Because if you know what he's actually doing with it, it's,
I know. I've ridden with him. I think it's just making sure there's just standard operating guidelines for LSPD to use things. That's the only thing is to cover, which it's not. We're going to change SOPs. It's just like
yeah, I get it. Everything with the pursuit has UPD all over it, so both departments can use it. That's how we've envisioned the cert. Our first people in shift 3 were both LSPD, so I don't know. I understand
why is high command a cert
but I
lead?
picked the cert leads before Bradford transferred.
I don't really give a fuck who's in charge. Doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck who's in charge.
So it's a little tough.
I don't think it's. I think you're overlooking into it. It's not really that big of a deal. Yeah. So again, so the whole reason we are doing it is just because we need to make sure that the things that people are using are kind of like written in stone. That's it. Like we haven't changed anything. I mean, we even said for the pursuit. I mean, I told Ventura like the day after we made this announcement that yeah, the SOPs are approved.
But then you have like you have your own sort of training.
No, it's not.
Kind of halted everything.
Wait, we don't have our own training.
Nikki was driving the Interceptor 2 days ago.
She was driving my vehicle.
Okay, the Interceptor.
Right, she was driving my Interceptor.
Exactly.
What's the?
Is she certified or trained or anything?
Well, I mean, it was Declan certified or trained when he was driving it without SOPs. It was just a car.
But there are things, right? There are things set in place, and you could at least been like, hey, if this is like the thing, it's like, hey, you're the lead of this unit. I get it's different in this case because I'm the actual lead, but that's the least you could have done. Is been like, hey, is it okay if I just let her drive for the Interceptor for a little bit? I'm getting off duty.
I can. I mean, well, listen. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of disagree, but I can. I think that it's good to talk about these things. I mean, if you have an issue with it, then I think you should come talk to me. And if there is an issue, like we could work that out in the future. Absolutely.
I just didn't know if you were trying to do it to poke the bear. So that's the only reason I didn't talk to you about it.
You know this. You could slap a fucking racing V8 in the fucking CVPI, and it's faster than that Interceptor.
Yeah, I know. Every car is like that. It's just we have Interceptors for that, the pursuit unit, and that's kind of like what the vision is those handle like fast car. It's kind of, it stands out in the terms of who's going to be like you can rely on.
So you as high command. I mean,
people are supposed to be leading pursuits.
Chat, you guys
be training people as well, but a lot of the people in those positions kind of feel like, well, what's the fucking point right now if the people that we train and all these people that we do like hot pursuits with to see how good they are, what they can improve on, to give them that feedback, it just is going to get skipped because Peters wants to give it out.
Okay, so I think TRT is a good example on my counter to this, right? Because the Interceptor unit should be people that are exceptional drivers. It shouldn't really matter what the vehicles are, right? It's like TRT. Should TRT only be able to respond to shootouts? Like, it's a unit, and this is my theory on the whole thing. The cargo fast unit should be a unit that operates together to kind of catch the situations. I mean, as far as, especially now that we have CVPIs that go as fast as Interceptors, I don't think... I don't know. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't know. I don't know where you're cooking.
I think the fucking cargo fast unit should be more of a role play thing than people stonewalling people because they want a big dick and asshole.
But who's done that? Who's done that at all?
I mean, somebody complaining about me letting Nikki drive the Interceptor.
It's just because you're completely going around them instead of just like, hey... it's not necessarily that. It's they think that you're doing it on purpose to undermine the entire unit and just like let people drive around the Interceptor.
Are you saying Ventura? Ventura literally Ventura.
No.
Okay, listen. Ventura to my dick. How about that? This motherfucker.
It's not even Ventura.
Well, I'm gonna say it. This motherfucker literally ran straight to the marshals over me getting.
Not even Ventura.
But then who is it? Who has an issue with it?
Lucas.
Lucas Lavender.
Yes.
He got mad because I let somebody drive my high
like,
command
what is
vehicle.
the fucking point? What is the point? What's the point of like going through all this training with everybody else because they want to do that and they want to drive those things, but it's just getting skipped.
Wait,
think about, like,
how did
Trevette, for
Lucas?
example.
Hold on a second. Did Lucas ever see her even driving it?
Ventura let us know.
Okay, so it was Ventura.
Ventura let us know what was
Okay.
going on.
Oh, well, yep.
But Lucas had a problem with it and was like, what is the point?
I mean, it's that's exactly the point. How come the other thing is nobody will actually come and discuss the issues they have with myself or Moss?
Because they think that you're just fucking with them and like
Right?
genuinely just trying to stir the pot.
What
like
have
I did too. I thought you were just doing that to fuck them.
okay, but what did I? Who have I fucked with in the last month?
I mean, I genuinely, I'll give you a situation with me. Whenever you did the whole like pulling up in the Interceptor, you were like, oh, let me show you my upgrades, do all that. I thought you were trying to get like bait me because you were just driving around the Interceptor.
No,
like,
I didn't even think about that. I'm just like, listen,
That's what I thought about. I was like, this guy's just driving the
I
Interceptor
haven't
around
done
on road
anything
patrol.
to bait anyone. I literally have not. Okay, actually, you know what I did? I went to Nakota today and I said Nakota to my dick. I'll admit that, but that's literally it. I have not done a goddamn thing other than try to make the LSPD better.
I don't know. I think if I called you out and I was like, why are you driving an Interceptor around on just genuine patrol? Like, what do you plan to do? Why didn't you like hit us up about it? You would have had a problem with it.
I wouldn't.
And it would have started an argument.
But the thing is, this is the issue that LSPD is running into. It's a department. It's a fucking UP. Even though I hate the term UPD thing, it's a UPD thing. Everybody gets upset over hypotheticals and they never address issues. And instead of actually dealing with situations, they'd rather fucking gossip and stir the pot and not figure out what's going on. I bought one because I'm like, listen, I'm high command. I want a car. I just ended up fucking buying it and driving it around. And I hate that thing. It's a piece of shit. On top of that, that car is a piece of shit. And the Interceptor, the Interceptor unit, what's the unit called?
Pursuit response team.
The pursuit response team is mad that somebody's driving a shitty car.
That you can make good. Just get that. Let's get that through. Make it good.
Bones, I have braking kits, dampeners, lightweight kit, motor, fucking. I have so much.
What stage?
Most of them are 3 or 4.
I don't know. The one that we have, I don't know if you've driven it. It's pretty good. We just don't have like a crazy engine. I think if we get a crazy engine, the biggest thing is brakes.
CVPI is better. The CVPI with upgrades, the CVPI is literally the best car that we have.
I kind of do agree, but I just don't know how much an engine costs. I just don't know like the cost thing because the brakes are actually not bad on that thing. I don't know. We're getting off topic. That's kind of my headache with the whole pursuits and all the other certs. We set people up and then it got just brick walled by this whole thing.
But nobody got brick walled though.
I mean, what happened to the motor leads? Now they're just like, what do? We can't really train people in either county because it's just
why not?
Awkward.
No, again, this is all based off of hypotheticals. Has anyone tried to train? Has anyone reached out?
Well, this is part, like in part this is our fault and as BCSO because we're not like allowing people to go down there, right? Or not, it's not like not allowing people, but we don't want people going down there. I've never ordered somebody like, hey, come back up here. It's an order or go off duty. But how are they going to get trained? How are they going to be responding to things if all they're going to do is stuff up here, right? As BCSO.
I mean, can't you just ask for Motor Cert to come up there and train people?
Yeah, but what are they gonna get trained on, right?
I have no idea.
I mean, there's a couple things. I don't know the actual procedures of how motor training goes. I know in the pursuit, we like to do the hot pursuits, which would involve going in the city, but it's pretty hard to do.
Why?
At the moment.
That's just you chasing another vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that somebody's driven. So why would that be hard to go in the city though? Can't you guys do it?
I mean, we could. We could, but I just don't. There's always the risk of, hey, why the fuck are you doing this shit here? We don't want you doing this shit here. And there's also no like.
But these are all hypotheticals. These are nothing that anyone's talked about.
Everything that you're doing is also hypotheticals.
What do you mean? No. Everything we did with that whole thing is based off of situations we had, which I clarified when we just before we even started talking. Like I gave you a list of things that I believe we need to have.
Some of those things are that's kind of. It's kind of a lie in some sense, because a lot of those things, or 3 out of like 6 of those things that you mentioned, were done before this even was created, or were done after this was created. Moss said that she had this ready for 3 weeks before it actually went in action.
So the Bobby,
a lot of those situations were already like done before.
The only one of those was the Bobby situation, and I wouldn't say it to be a lie, but that was just like, fuck it, this is it, this is going through. That was the only one. So the like we had thrown around the idea. I actually I'm gonna be honest. She brought it forward and I opposed it because something had happened and I was like, wow, this has been great. But then it's like after the Ventura situation, after the Bobby situation, I'm just like What
Ventura situation again?
Ventura and Nakota. So I went down to the south side because there were actually
the off-duty thing.
Yeah, like that whole thing.
Okay.
That situation.
Yeah. What was I mean, I'm sure there was some sort of drama that they were just trying to fuck you over, realistically.
Yeah, they just assumed that I was operating nefariously, and they just were trying to get me impeached and ran straight to the marshals and was like, Tyler Peters did this. He didn't report the crime. It's like, nobody ever reached out to me. I did report the crime, by the way.
Well, it's... Okay, with all due respect, it is sometimes extremely hard to have a conversation with you at times about stuff like regarding you. In terms of, you were very good at like pushing things away, or like, hey, no, I that's not true. That's not like 100% the case. Whenever people do any sort of like assuming your behavior based on previous times or stuff like that. You're very good at pushing that off.
Yeah, but they should still reach out. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm good at gaslighting, but
yeah, you're very good at it.
That being said, people should still be doing their due diligence as officers and assuming that officers aren't performing their duties maliciously. I mean, Bones isn't good at gaslighting.
Let's go back to the document.
Yeah, so the whole SOP thing is like, we haven't even, I told Ventura, I said, everything's approved, like, fucking run it as you normally would.
Okay, so you guys would be fine with getting rid of that, or no?
I don't, what?
Or just having, like, all units are fine after the SOPs have been approved by Command Plus? Or
that's literally what it says.
No, they'll be overseen by all these. So that basically they would be ran by it, is the technicality.
No, it's not. You're interpreting that wrong. It just means,
I'm interpreting how it would be interpreted
it says the SOPs, right? Not the units.
That's after. That's a whole different sentence. All certified units operating within Los Santos County will be overseen by LSPD Command Plus, period. That is a whole sentence.
Right.
That is you guys overseeing the cert. That is you guys overtaking the cert lead, or whoever we.
No, it's not taking. That is not taking over the cert lead. That's
okay. Well, then can you remove that if that's not what it's intended? Because
we're not removing
how it comes out.
No, that isn't how it comes out. That's you perceiving information as you want to be perceived. It's literally okay. So the thing is, right? What's a different unit? Bayweather. Bayweather runs air, right? Are you oversight of Bayweather and the air unit?
As high command, we are.
Yes, that's literally what it is. That's literally what it's referring to.
Could you put that?
It's what that's exactly how it's written. Will be overseen by LSPD Command Plus.
But we actually oversee it, not Command Plus. It's like that's like the thing that's the problem with it, right? High command oversees all the certs, but we actually do that. LSPD Command should not be doing that.
In the city?
In my opinion, yeah, I have a problem with that. I don't think in the city it should be LSPD high or command overseeing the cert leads for that cert that we set.
So if Bayweather comes,
us high command can do it.
Right, but if Bayweather comes down here in her helicopter and she's flying dangerously, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, you know what? Not my ass, chief. Go fuck yourself."
Well, that's why you would put, like, before this all, that you guys have jurisdictional authority as high command. So she couldn't just...
Yeah, it's just overseen by LSPD Command Plus, which is... Isn't that...
Could you change that to high command?
Isn't Command Plus high command?
No, it's sergeant, lieutenant.
Okay. So you don't. So the issue is you don't want command to be
overseeing certs. I think that should be a high command thing.
Okay. Why would I? Why should we change it?
I just gave my reasoning. I mean, I can go again on it. It's just I think that command plus a sergeant should not be able to overrule or oversee a cert lead that we set in place as high command. I think if we have a problem with it, then we can talk to him and deal with it.
So like if there with Ventura being shift 1 lead for the whatever unit, there's no fucking way I'm getting rid of that.
I mean, shift lead.
Yeah, there's no, but isn't he the pursuit lead for shift 1?
Yeah, he basically handles everything that he does gets approved by me or gets ran through me. In terms of who he's bringing in, what he's doing, how he's going to operate with the vehicle.
Yeah, but I mean, no, there's no fucking way. I mean, if Ventura pops off on Den,
petty, but you as high command can do something about that.
Right, but high command can't be around all the time.
Things aren't they're not going to end all in one day. The world's not going to collapse in one day.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree.
If anything, it gives you something to do the next day.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Okay, so have we run into any issues with this?
By like Command Plus, it just shouldn't be a thing. Genuinely should not be a thing.
I'm not fucking folding.
Given so many reasons. Come on.
I know, but we haven't
either just say no or like you're not going to change it.
No. The thing is I'm trying to get all perspectives on it versus being like, okay, this or this. I haven't seen any issues or command overstepping where they shouldn't be overstepping.
Something that should be even a part of their responsibility as a sergeant or lieutenant.
Just say no, fuck it, straight up.
Shouldn't be worried about
This is why, you know what? If you guys want a back seat, you guys should just make an account on Nopixel.net, apply, get approved, get hired at the PD, become the ass chief, and then you could fucking do it how you guys want to do it. think people being like, say, no, fuck them. Okay, cool. If I do that, that's literally just shutting down RP. Yeah, I just, again, I think the thing for us is we're trying different things to see what works and what won't work, and we're not even giving the opportunity for things to work. We're just shutting it down. Is why we want to do that. While I can respect you do think there might be issues, nothing has come up yet for us to even change.
I mean, it's not like sunshine and rainbows 24/7.
Yeah, if it was, then it wouldn't be. Just don't say anything, see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see if BCSO responds. We're in state waters. Hey, if they come out here, can you lie down? And I'll say, we're in state waters. You have no jurisdiction.
Well, they do. They have some sort, but there's
no,
some authority.
we don't.
There's some authority, no?
I don't. Okay, I should say international waters. But have you seen what goes on?
International waters is different, but if we're in state waters,
yeah. I mean, I'll claim that we're in international waters, which I think we are, because the whole boat situation. You know about that situation, by the way?
Well, let me look.
We're not to get on the boat. Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm thriving.
Is Bones okay?
Haven't seen him. Why do you ask?
Don't say that word. Don't say that word.
What
Don't
was
say
that
that word.
311?
I'm in international waters right here. The sheriff's office has no jurisdiction.
But y'all are both okay, right?
Wait, no, we're still good. I think.
Maxwell, like,
I think we're in
channel
state
you're
waters.
on?
Yeah, we're in state waters.
Are we in state waters? Can we go out to a little bit
look
further
at the
to international
No,
waters?
No. I don't want to.
They're in international waters. Maxwell is where they're at.
I'm pretty sure we're in international waters right now.
No, we're in state waters. I don't think there's such thing as international
sheriff,
waters.
I think we're supposed.
I'm looking at the. Look at this. Look at the.
Are you looking
thing.
at the line?
Yeah, I'm looking at the
And
line.
how the fuck is the
Every
oil
single-
tanker? How come the oil tankers?
I think that's just a thing, so we don't go on that boat.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should. Okay. Does anyone come? Okay, Avery, I'm getting real bad service out here. Okay, I'm swimming to Mexico. I'm gonna be swimming to Mexico for a little bit. All right.
Okay. I'll miss you.
Call Trig, and he's the assistant chief. Okay.
Yeah, look at the thing. I don't think there actually is international waters as far as we can see. Maybe like 20 miles out, but
no. Look at that. Yeah, look at it. We're way below that. We're way below that line.
Yeah, but like, do we know? You know?
I'm pretty sure this is international waters.
I'm just looking at like how far out it goes to the west and east.
Hold on one second.
Like,
maybe I can get a hold of the judge.
I think we gotta ask somebody on state level if there is international.
Yeah, I'm calling Judge Grayson.